Welcome to the MVP show. Today we're here with Sukrut, who specializes in Dynamics 365 finance and all the technologies around that. Massive amount of experience over 12 years in the space. He's a newly minted MVP in business applications. Remember, full show notes can be found at nz365guide.com/201. Now let's get on with the show. Sukrut, welcome to the MVP show.
Glad to be here, Mark.
Good to have you on the show in this lockdown scenario that we're in with COVID-19. What part of the world are you currently in lockdown in?
I am in Los Angeles.
And how's it going there?
Is it pretty bad over here? We are in our house since last 5 weeks. Going out only for necessary things, things like water, and being an Indian, we need Indian groceries. So just visiting sometimes to the Indian grocery stores. Other than that, everything we are just buying online and staying home.
Yeah. So do you have all your family with you at this time?
Yes, I live with my wife and son.
Mm-hmm. But what about your extended family? Are you missing some of those people?
Yes, so I'm originally from India, and my parents live in a city called Pune. It's in Maharashtra, the state called Maharashtra. Um, uh, so I grew up in town which is near to another state, which Goa. But for job, I moved out.
I know Goa.
Yeah. So I moved to Pune in 2007, and since then till 2011, I was living in Pune, and gradually my parents migrated to Pune as well. So they are staying there in Pune, and in 2011, I moved to Los Angeles.
So tell me about moving from India to Los Angeles. How did that come about for you? Kind of what was your journey that drew you to the US?
The journey started with, of course, with my first job, which was I started working with a company called Ignify in 2007, and before joining, and I was just fresh out of the college, fresh graduate out of the college, and was looking for a job, and that's when I came to know about this job opening in Ignify, and the job opening was for ERP, and as a electronics and telecommunication graduate, I don't at that time I didn't even know about what ERP is. I know only about SAP, but I didn't know that SAP is also ERP. So I just gave my interview, got selected over there, and as a fresher, they gave us 1 month training, and that's when I came to know about Dynamics AX. So, and they told us that you are going to work on Dynamics AX, and it's a ERP from Microsoft, and you will be trained on Microsoft Dynamics AX for 1 month, and after that you will be assigned to a project. That's how my journey started with Dynamics AX. And I started with AX 3.0 during that time. Mostly learn the basic concept during 1 month training, and after that it's all about projects. Whatever you learn on the projects, that is your experience, and that's how I started. And in 2011, the Ignify gave me the opportunity to visit US, and they transferred me from India location to US, which is so. I came to Texas in Dallas for one of the project, which was why I worked on is integrating e-commerce jewelry retailer to Dynamics AX 2009, and that's how I landed in the US. And after working on that project in 2011 for 3 or 4 months, I moved to Los Angeles, and after that, since then, I am living in Los Angeles.
Wow. So you've been in the US around over 12 years now?
Yeah, I would say 10 years.
Yeah. Wow, that's a heck of a long time. So, a lot of people ask me, how do they get jobs in other countries? They might have been trained in one of the Microsoft Business Application suite of products, and they go, how do I move to a different country? When people ask you this question, what type of advice do you give them?
I would say you don't have to think about moving, to another country, because this is something which I never thought about it. I just gave my best while working on my job, and the opportunity eventually came automatically in front of me, that the company offered me based on my performance, and the job I was doing, that we are moving you to United States. And um, so I was, in fact, I didn't even thought about that I will be in the US one day, and I'll spend these many years in the United States. Yeah, so just give your the advice would be, just give your best in whatever you are doing, and the opportunities will knock your doors.
Nice, nice. So tell me about then your journey inside of AX, and I assume now into finance and operations of Dynamics 365. What are kind of been key pivot learnings that you've made along the way that really helped your career go from where it started to where it is today?
Well, the first thing is exposure to the projects during my initial when I joined the initially as a fresh graduate, and the project which I worked on was along with another company called Wipro, and the project was with the implementing Dynamics X 4.0 in Microsoft Business Solutions group. So, and that was the project was in collaboration with Wipro, and it was so we used to work from Hyderabad Wipro office, because the Microsoft India headquarters is in Hyderabad. So the all the activities are used to happen in Hyderabad. So that project changed my life, because initially during the fresh while working on the project, I got to exposure so many different things, process wise, while working with Microsoft folks, um, and our experienced team. um, that that exposure changed my life, and I learned a lot of things over there. Eventually, as an with the Dynamics X, I would say still I am learning so many different things. And with the finance and operations, of course, technology is changing day by day. So you have to, it's very hard to keep up with the changes. But if you want to survive in the market, you have to keep yourself, updated with all these technological changes. So, and but during the initial time, like in 2007, when I started working in AX, that was not the case. Of course, with the different different projects, which are based in different industry based projects, you get to learn so many different things. So I would say um, um, spending couple of years and couple of years with just AX during that time was not enough. So uh, eventually, like after spending 5 years 6 years with Dynamics X, I was feeling comfortable. Okay, now I know most of the things, although the finance and operations or AX is really vast, very large ERP. It's very, and now especially it's very difficult to know each and everything in there, what is present over there. So I would say whatever I learned is mostly, you know, by working on different projects, getting to know different industries, how they work, and how the Dynamics X or finance and operation now is fits into their business.
So it's interesting you mentioned industries there. How important is industry knowledge when it comes to implementing, a product like Dynamics 365 Finance?
I would say it's not necessarily that you need to know the industry very well, just an high level, what they do and what their business is and how their business model is enough to get started with. Once you are in project and you do more, discoveries, and you spend time within that projects, you learn more. So having a high level idea and learning their basically initially during initial phases of projects, learning their high level business model is enough, and once you get into it, you can become an expert, and you'll come to know more things.
Yeah. So you also mentioned there that there's so many areas now that sit inside Dynamics 365. How, like, what area do you focus on, and how do you kind of focus on one area but maintain your skills or knowledge across the wider applications that make up that mix?
I'm a technical person. I'm not as a functional finance consultant or supply chain consultant. I'm a technical architect. So uh, the mostly what I do is I need to what I my focused area is what are the technical changes coming, or what new Microsoft is releasing, which is going to impact or change the Microsoft changes technologically, uh, I would say major technological changes. So with the finance and operations, or initially they called it as AX7, that happened initially, and learning those new concepts was the biggest challenge, and we kind of passed that phase now 3 or 3.5 years back. So now it's just a matter of keeping yourself updated with what they are releasing on monthly basis with all these platform updates, um, and what changes are coming within those platform updates. Of course, it's not possible to learn each and everything, but the most impacted, or the most needed things by several businesses, and those kind of technology changes I learn.
So with understanding, those technical areas, what are you seeing now? Do you see more like on premise as people migrating to the cloud in the finance space, or you're still working with a lot of customers that are saying no, on premise is where we want to stay. We don't want to move to the cloud offerings by Microsoft.
I would say most of the customers would love to go to the cloud version, and the customer currently I'm working with them since 2015, and they of course love cloud. And when we started, so the customer which I'm working on currently, we are the first one to go uh, with the full upgrade. When I say full upgrade, means data upgrade and code upgrade with the finance and operations. And that journey was started in 2016, when the AX7 version came in, RTM version came in. So we started in 2016 when even the RTM version was not released, because we were part of the TAP program, I think. Yeah. And with that program we started, and we went live with the finance on operations in February 2017, and the finance on operation version was released in November 2016. So kind of we were ready with our application in September 2016, but again the fiscal year close comes during that duration here in US. So we kind of waited for to close the close to pass that period of 2 months or 3 months for audit and fiscal year close. And during that time Microsoft released finance and operation as well, so we upgraded to finance and operations and finally went live in 2017. So my experience is with the only cloud version, and I love cloud version, and I recommend everyone to be on the cloud version. I'm a big participant on the Microsoft community as well, and when I see the challenges people are facing with the on-premise versions, definitely I don't have any experience, but the challenges, from the experience, what I read from those questions and everything, I see there are a lot of challenges with the on-premise versions, and it's way different than the cloud versions.
So tell me about contributions. What area you've been an MVP? How long now?
I got it in on October 1st. So nearly 6-7 months. Yeah, last year, 6-7 months.
Yeah. So what areas is your main area of contribution, and what do you find works well for you?
My main area of contribution is, of course, when I started. So the journey started itself with the on this project, which I explained just now in 2016. So while working on the project, there were several new concepts, right, with the finance AX7 or finance and operations. technological changes. So during the project duration, I was not participating in anything. I was just focusing on project. But um, after the project went live, I just visited Microsoft community and I saw there are several. I'm and for just I'm community member since last 10 years, but in 2016 I was facing some problems and I visited community and just posted one questions. And while doing that, I saw there are so many different questions related to finance and operations, and people are struggling with. And being earlier, because we adopted to this new change earlier, and while working with Microsoft product team closely, we kind of get to know so many things uh, earlier. So I saw I can answer this all these questions, and so that's how I started contributing on forums. And during that time there was no intention to become a MVP, but that's how I started and contributing every month. And exact to be precise, exactly in July 2017, that is the first month I started contributing to the uh, Microsoft forums. And from that point onwards I never stopped. So from that point onwards I'm consistent on visiting these forums and answering questions. And I never after that I am always there on the top 10 contributors till last month till um, last month or a month before that. uh, yeah, so that's how it started. And in 2018, another MVP from Europe, Andre, he contacted me and he asked me about, do you ever got nomination for MVP? I said, nope, I didn't get any invitation. And that's when my hopes to become an MVP kind of, I got an hope to become an MVP. And that's how. But till that time I was just contributing to the forums, and there was nothing in mind about becoming MVP.
So he started you thinking about that journey and what it would take to become one. Is that right?
Yes. And of course that nomination after
Did
that.
he nominate you? Did he not?
Yeah, he nominated me, and of course I did not received award. So nowadays at least I heard that they streamline their process, and whoever gets nomination within 90 days, they get email saying that whether they got an award or not, and steps. But during that time it was nothing. So I, after 2-3 months after getting nomination, and after passing those 2-3 months after that, I came to know, okay, I'm not going to get it. But I got another nomination, and that is from Dr. Ludwig. um, uh, Ludwig, in after 2 or 3 months I think. And at that time also I did not get the MVP. So but still I was contributing to the forums. I was started writing blogs because now that hope is there that I'll get MVP at one day. So um, my contribution was still going on. And in May 2018, so we have before that in we have our internal MVP bootcamp group within Hitachi, which is created by Joel, and I am part of that group. And um, he used to guide us, on different things what you can do. But I attended only one or two meetings um, of that group, and after that I kind of it fall through my agenda, and I was not attending those sessions. But in May 2018, they are having meeting and they were reviewing the Microsoft forums and looking at the leaderboards. And that's when my colleague informed Joel that this is Sukrut is from Hitachi, and if we can do something to get him nominated. So I came to know after listening to that recording. Um, and that's how Joel nominated me in May 2018, and in October finally I received the email saying I got an MVP award.
Wow, fantastic! Definitely, Joel is very pivotal in a lot of people getting their MVPs. He's like the MVP maker, the master out there, and that's so good to hear your journey of persistence, though, that you carried on even when it was tough. But once you're on that journey, and what a massive amount of contribution. I'm just in the community forums here for finance and operations, and I can see that you've made a massive amount of contributions in there. So really, really well done, and congratulations on your MVP.
Thank you.
Okay, are we ready for some quick fire questions?
Sure.
Here it is. First one, would you rather watch a movie at home or at a movie theater?
Definitely movie theater.
What's the top 5 apps on your phone?
WhatsApp.
Yep.
Then Facebook. Some trading apps. Of course, Gmail, Outlook, and fitness apps.
Nice. Who in life inspires you to be better?
Swami Vivekananda. That's
Say that again.
Swami Vivekananda. So there is a great saying from him about which I always think is take risk or challenges in your life. If you win, you can lead. If you lose, you can guide with your experience or become a mentor to others.
If you had to do lockdown, COVID-19 lockdown again, and you could choose 5 people to be in your lockdown space with you, what 5 people would you choose?
My family, son, wife, and my parents.
Your parents.
Yep.
Nice. You'd bring them in as well. I like it. What do you regret not doing when you were younger?
I was not a good listener. Still, I am not a good listener.
Interesting. Interesting. If you could buy one thing again that you already own and you love it so much, what would you buy again? Because you just think it's amazing.
Laptops.
Yeah, computer. Yeah, fantastic. I love it. Sukrut, it's been great to have you on the show. If people want to connect with you on social media, where can they find you?
I'm available on LinkedIn as well as Twitter. Although I'm not that active on Twitter, but I'm available on LinkedIn with Sukrut Parab, name Sukrut Parab. Same on the Twitter as well as on the Microsoft Community Forum.
Hey, thanks for listening. Hope you're staying safe in this COVID-19 situation. If you want to reach out and get in touch, feel free to do that. Private message me on LinkedIn is the best way to get hold of me. Remember, full show notes for this episode can be found at nz365guy.com/201. See you next week.